Alex Donaldson, and I will be conducting this interview on behalf of the One Other Project and the Wellcome Trust. The date is the 4th of September 2009. If you could please state your full name, your age, if that's okay, and where you're
My
from.
age? Oh, goodness. I'm Steve Swanner. I'm from Redditch in Worcestershire, and I'm 27.
Fabulous. And how are you this morning?
I'm a little apprehensive, but I'm okay.
So, can I briefly take you back to how you initially heard about the project?
It was funny, I was listening to LBC, Bill Buckley, and he was desperate to go on it, because I've got a Wi-Fi radio, so I listened to LBC even in Redditch, and he was saying that he was desperately wanted to get on the Plinth, and that's the first time I heard about it. And I thought, what's this then? So then I went online and had a look, and saw that you could apply. So I applied. Didn't think I'd get a go, but then I did.
So how did you feel when you found out you had a place?
I was pleased. I was really pleased because I was telling people that I'd applied, and lots of people were really keen, and they knew about the project and wanted to wish me luck. And I was saying, well, you know, the chances of me getting a place are quite slim. So when the email arrived and said that I got a place, I was chuffed. Is the technical term for being quite excited.
So can I ask you to talk a little bit about what you're planning on doing with your hour today?
It's very difficult because I don't know what sort of people are up there. I don't know whether, because I'm much better interacting with people than with nobody. So if I can interact with people, then I will be able to talk and chat. But otherwise, I'm going to probably do some magic and some balloons. But magic might not work depending on the height of the plinth and who's around. But I'm going to give it a go. But if not, I should just do some jokes and balloons. So that's my plan, but it could all change in the next half hour.
So can I ask you about magic? You were dressed as a clown, and how you got into it, how long you've been working in magic for?
My lad is 15 in October, and I just started just before my little boy was born. And so that's 15 years. And I used to be an actor, and I was going around but it was difficult to get the work. And my friend was saying, you're very good with children, can you come and do 6 children's parties for me at this new venue that had opened? And I said, well, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I got a book on how to make balloons, and a book on, I've always been interested in magic. My dad was sort of quite interested in magic. And I always had books on magic. We used to do magic together. So I learned a few basic magic tricks and learned some balloons, and got my friend to sort of knock me up a costume. And I went along and did my first sort of shows at the Lighthouse Media Centre, it was. Yeah.
So are you currently working, is it kind of like a one-man show?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I work mainly weekends doing children's parties and working for garden centres. And in the week I do a music group for preschool children. So I go to nurseries, and I do about 7 or 8 of those a week.
So initially, was it the magic that attracted you to it, or do you just really enjoy working with children's?
It's the children's.
Sorry,
children. A group of, a collection of. I'm very good with children. My sisters between them have got 9 girls, and I grew up looking after them. And I think it's just that I know what a children. You're doing it to me now. I know what a child is thinking. So it's easier for me to work with children because I know what they're doing. I've always worked with children. I used to direct theatre shows for 200 children in 3 weeks as a summer project.
And you have a son?
I have a son and a daughter. Barnum is 15 in October, and my little Kira is 13, just going on 40. And
do you find it helpful now having children? Have you found that quite insightful?
No, well, your own children are different because they behave, because I'm really strict with my children.
So what kind of tricks do you do?
I'm a children's entertainer, so my magic doesn't have to be David Blaine or anything spectacular.
So
it's sort of, I do sort of children's magic. Today I've brought a mind reading and a torn and restored newspaper. The torn and restored newspaper I've been doing for 15 years because it always works, and so that's quite a nice trick. But no, I might do some rope magic as well.
What's the torn newspaper?
Torn and restored. You hold a newspaper out, you rip it up, you say a few magic words, abracadabra, flim flam flu, and then it restores and it's back to how it originally was. I could tell you how I do it,
Please do.
but I can't.
Oh no. Because it's magic.
It's
yes?
magic. That's the thing.
So, for your hour, what are your hopes, fears, expectations?
My fears are I don't fall off. That's a big fear. Because it's higher than I thought it was, and this big crane thing that's going to travel me over.
Not crane, lifting device.
Sorry. To me, it looks like a very spectacular and friendly lifting device. So yeah, I'm hoping that I don't get scared standing on the lifting device that takes me over to the plinth. Because once I get on there and I look down, I've been on the London Eye, you know, and I got very scared. And I thought it'd be fine, but it just. But that's one of my fears. My hopes. So I don't know. My hope is I get through it and people enjoy what I do. I never have any expectations ever, and then everything's a nice surprise.
That's very, very profound.
Thank you.
So, have you brought anybody with you today to watch you?
I haven't. I've stayed at my friend's house, Steve Ashmore. Hello. He lives in Muswell Hill, so I stayed with him. And but when I told him I had to be here an hour and a half early, he says, "Get yourself there, and I'll come and see you at 12." So yeah, I think he's bringing a few people. My mum threatened to come down, but she's 80, and I don't know if she will. But her boyfriend's 65, so he's got a sports car. But I think they might come down and watch a show afterwards. I don't know.
So, ultimately, with this experience, what are you wanting to get out of today?
That is a very good question. I don't know what I want to get out of today. See, my life. I really enjoy my life, and I don't expect anything, and so it's really difficult because I don't know what the fun and the taking part. I really like that idea, but maybe it's a question for afterwards because I don't know what I expect out of this. I just wanted to do it. I wanted to come and stand on the plinth. That's what I wanted to do, and then I don't know how that's going to unfold on my journey in the next hour.
Would you call yourself a performer?
Yeah, I think I do like to perform. If I have an audience, when I open the fridge, I do 20 minutes. It's that sort of thing. I do like performing, but it's going to be difficult because my usual audience are 7 and under, really. So it's going to be harder to sort of work a crowd of lots of different people.
Have you ever performed in front of adults before?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I do lots of parties. I do for weddings and christenings and things like that. And so it's really nice if I can get because I do play to both sides. I play to the children and I throw things in over the children's head to get the adults involved because then they stop talking. Because that's the worst thing is when you're performing a children's party these days, adults talk all the time and they don't sort of listen. So I try and throw in jokes and things that encourage the adults to sit down, and when that works, it's a really nice party because the adults are enjoying themselves and the children are enjoying themselves.
So, can I ask you a little bit about your background, where you're from, kind of where you grew up, how long what you were working before?
Well, I was born in Bromsgrove, Worcestershire, at the age of 0. That makes a lot of sense. So, and I've lived sort of around Bromsgrove and Redditch area. And when I was 18, I got a job at a local recovery hospital, and I was a porter there. And then I stayed at being a porter for 7 years, moving down to Bromsgrove Hospital and the new Redditch Hospital that opened. And then after that, I was still doing amateur dramatics and acting and things. And then I got a job working at the Palace Theatre in Redditch. And I got my equity card and I started doing acting from there. And then I became a children's entertainer. So basically, I mean, I've always worked with people. That's what I'm good at, I think, he says.
So for today, how are you feeling about the live streaming, or are you literally just aiming at the direct crowd out next to below the bridge?
That I have no idea. When I came down, because I came down to see Peter Pan at Hyde Park a few weeks ago, and I came along and had a look at the plinth, and I could see that it was difficult to communicate with the audience because sometimes they just want to have a look at you, and I think it might be easier for me to communicate with the live streaming. So when I get up there, I'm going to have a look round, and I probably, depending what I get from the audience that are here, I might just switch over to do the live stream. So I'm going to try and see if I can get both in without it looking a bit odd. But as I've never performed in front of a live web stream camera, apart from the privacy of my own home, then I have no idea how it's going to work.
Do you have a favourite event that you've done?
Do I have a favourite event? I've done lots of events. I did do an airborne show which Noel Edmonds did with helicopters and things. So that was fun. But I spend Christmas. I think Christmas is the best time, because I go to a local garden centre, which actually I say it's a local garden centre, it's the biggest garden centre in the country. And we do breakfast with Father Christmas and teas with Father Christmas. And that is just great, because the children come in and we do a little show about Father Christmas arriving. He phones us, tells us where he is. And then when he arrives, the children sort of sit down and have something to eat, and Father Christmas goes along and meets all the children. But it's something that I run and organise, so it's just a lot of pleasure, and I just really enjoy Christmas time.
What would you say is important in your life at the moment?
I live my life day by day, so I don't have any goals or ambitions. I'm quite happy. As long as I'm happy, then everything sort of fits into place.
And just briefly, when you're dressed up in your kind of clown attire, do you still feel very much the same person, or do you feel like it's a bit of a persona?
I think I am the same person. I mean, I've done things for people and they wanted me to dress up as a wizard or something, and when I go, all the children say bye bye clown. I think I am naturally a clown. That's what I am. So it's probably easier when I'm dressed up to be a clown rather than, although as I get older, and because I do so many public events, when I go into the supermarkets and things like that, I sometimes just, without thinking, say silly things to people and they wonder why I'm doing it. So it's just a slightly bigger extension of myself, I suppose.
Thank you so much. You've been great.
Thank you very much. Have I really?